Ooh, hello, hyperspace. My name is Davontos, and it's time to get hyped because Davontos has returned and he's back on the mic. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, I'm going to have a couple of videos playing up on screen from maybe Call of Duty to some Shenron and Overwatch. It's going to be a kind of a long video, and I'm just going to answer a lot of questions that I'm asked quite frequently, and that most of them are Davontos, where have you been? Davontos, what happened to the videos, and all that stuff. So, to answer this question, where have I been? I've been just doing things Davontos do. I've been playing video games and just things that I do, and also what happened to the videos. Now, this is actually, this is it's going to be a very long topic to discuss. So, with the YouTube videos. I am going to stop the YouTube uploads that I used to do on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I am still going to make YouTube videos, but they're just not going to pop up as frequently. And the reason for this is two things. Number one is YouTube itself, and another one is what YouTube creators call burnout. And if you don't know what burnout is, it's not that we are tired of creating the content, it's just we're tired of the pattern in which the content is being created. So let's talk about why it's a YouTube problem first. And so the reason why I stopped uploading as much as I am, or as much as I used to, is because, as I said, a YouTube problem, and it's because YouTube is going downhill. We all know that by now. YouTube is not as big as it used to be. YouTube is playing favorites and all that stuff, and the reason it's playing favorites, how it's playing favorites, is like, let's take somebody like myself, who's a very small YouTube creator, and then we can take a big YouTube creator like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, you know, big guys, and then we can take Hollywood actors and actresses like who's an actor and actress who has a YouTube channel? The Rock, yeah, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He has a YouTube channel. So YouTube is going downhill because they're playing favorites, right? And they're not really paying YouTubers as much as they used to, which is why a lot of big YouTubers like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and so on, they have a Patreon. You can go to their Patreon, you can buy their stuff because YouTube isn't giving them payments. Because YouTube is paying the bigger guys like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And the reason for that is basically it's all commercial, it's all about profits. So let's say, for example, back in the day, the way the YouTubers used to get their profits was by advertisements. You know, those ads and commercials that pop maybe in the beginning or the end of the video. The YouTube creator, like Jacksepticeye, he would rely on those ads and people who watch the ads to give him payments. You know, if one person watches the ad, Jacksepticeye gets maybe 3 cents. But if you actually add up millions and millions of subscribers and millions of views on his videos, is basically 2 or 3 cents times like what, 100,000 people. So that's how Jack would get his payments. They're not really relying on these ads anymore, and if they are, the ads give more revenue to the bigger Hollywood stars, because if you have somebody who sponsors your videos, like let's use Coca-Cola, right? Let's have somebody who makes rather questionable content, or they have a lot of swear words in their content, like Markiplier. Markiplier curses a lot. So you have Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola can easily just say, oh, we don't want to sponsor Markiplier anymore because Markiplier curses all the time, which means his content isn't good for kids, and we want to sell our Coca-Cola products to kids, so we don't want our product to be, you know, to have anything to do with this foul-mouthed YouTuber. So because of that, Coca-Cola pulls away from Markiplier and they go to somebody else. But the way YouTube creators are nowadays, everybody's cursing all over the place, and it's very difficult for them to actually, you know, stick to a PG show. And I mean, let's face it, ain't nobody gonna be watching no PG show. Imagine watching something like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, and they don't curse, they don't play no gory games. It's just PG. They're always playing Little Big Planet, and they're calling each other like dumb or silly or all that, you know, PG stuff. Ain't nobody gonna like that. So it became very difficult for these creators to actually stick with a sponsor, which is why they started Patreon. And if you actually think about it, a sponsor who would actually approve this foul-mouth thing, like a company that's Old Spice, right? Old Spice deodorant. They're for men. You know, men already know this foul-mouth stuff. But if you actually think about it, what would make more sense? For Old Spice to actually go to Markiplier, who's big on YouTube, and ask Markiplier to promote his product? Or for Old Spice to freaking go to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you know, a guy who's big on Hollywood, and a guy who's big on YouTube, and ask him to promote the product? If you actually think about it, who's more likely to make the sales for Old Spice? Markiplier or The Rock? That's why YouTube is playing favorites, because they're favoriting these big guys who just came out of nowhere, out of Hollywood, and are making these YouTube videos. So because of that, it's really hurting the big YouTubers, not the actors and actresses, because they don't need to worry about nothing. It's just the bigger YouTubers like Mark and so on is hurting them because they're not having any sponsors, so that's why they start opening Patreons. And that also goes into play, like YouTube's playing favorite with the big actors and actresses, so when you actually boot up YouTube, they start showing up all over your recommendations. That's why you have something like The Tonight Show that keeps popping up in your suggested videos, because YouTube wants to push those big Hollywood actors and actresses, that way they can get the views from the advertisements, that way the advertising sponsors like Coke and Old Spice can get payments alongside YouTube. And because of that, it's hurting the bigger YouTubers like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye because they're not getting any sponsors, and basically their audience is staying within a limited pool. And that also hurts, it really hurts us smaller YouTubers, because nobody's really going to come find us, and we're not really going to build an audience because YouTube keeps sponsoring the big Hollywood guys. And if you don't know who the big Hollywood guys are, chances are you're probably going to wind up running into like a Markiplier video or a Jacksepticeye video, because they're already big, and you have a better chance of running into them than you are running into a smaller channel like mine's. Because, as I said, they're trying to push forward the big Hollywood guys for the views and the income, and if they can't push forward the Hollywood guys, they're going to push forward people like Markiplier because they're already big, and YouTube doesn't really see a point in pushing forward small channels like myself because nobody really knows who I am. I mean, I have like close to 300 subs, if you actually think about it. Is YouTube really going to promote a dude who has like 300 subs, or are they going to promote a dude who has like 10 million subs like Jacksepticeye, or are they going to freaking promote Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? It all comes down to that money, whole, you know, self-income, all that greedy shit. And that's one of the reasons why the videos are slowing down. Another one I mentioned was burnout. And if you guys don't know what burnout is, that's what I'm going to tell you here. So, burnout. YouTube burnout is basically, it falls into play with the whole YouTube going downhill thing. They kind of both work hand in hand. So let's get into detail. How does it work hand in hand? When I first started uploading gameplay videos on YouTube, I was doing it every single day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every day of the week, every day I was just uploading videos. And when you actually do something like that, yeah, it could be very fun at first, but as it just continues and continues on and on, not only do you run out of ideas and you don't know what to talk about, but it also starts to feel like a chore. You can think of it like playing a musical instrument, right? Let's take like a rock guitar. Maybe you love playing rock guitar, but if you're always playing rock guitar and you have to play your guitar at a certain day, a certain time every single day, and you have to stop whatever you're doing, just put it down, grab your guitar and start playing music, it's fun because you like playing guitar, but if it starts getting in the way of other stuff in your life, it's going to start to feel like a chore. Which is why I kind of limited my video uploads a second time, which was when I was uploading Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and occasional Saturdays, like the Rabbi Ribby episodes. And then even that, it still started to feel like a chore, and I was also running out of ideas because I would speak about, let's say, Overwatch, right? I would talk about maybe a big diva change that they did in Overwatch, but I didn't really see a point to it. Because if you think about it, I speak about this diva change, but then every other YouTuber is talking about this diva change. You know, you have other Overwatch YouTubers like Unit Lost and Your Overwatch and Overwatch Central and all that stuff. They're all talking about the diva change. And I say to myself, you know, there's not really a point in me talking about this diva change if we have like 50 million people also talking about the diva change. I want to do something that's different. If you guys actually remember, way back in the day, when I was actually posting Blacklight Retribution gameplay, this was way back in the day, I said I wanted to do Let's Plays like Markiplier, which I still would like to do that. But the problem is, the SHAREfactory, which I use on the PlayStation 4, it's very limited on what it can do for video editing, and Let's Plays is one of them that it cannot do. So, I can't actually make these videos that I've longed to make. Yeah, I can make gameplay videos, I can make tips and tricks, which is fine, but it's not what I want to do. I've always wanted to do Let's Plays. Now don't freak out, I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm just gonna say that the videos are going to slow down. Maybe like 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, and I'm not going to have a set schedule because I don't want it to feel like a chore. Yeah, I still like making content for you guys, but if there's not really anything I could make content for, because everybody else is doing it, like the Overwatch stuff, then I just won't make a video on it. Now, one thing I would love to do with you guys, and I find this fun, I don't know if you guys find this fun, is actually interacting with you guys in the comment section below. If you guys have a suggestion for a video I can make, and it's something I'm comfortable or might have fun making, I would make it. And if it's something, obviously, if I'm not interested in making it, I'm just not going to make it. So, if you guys have any suggestions for videos I could make, or videos you want to see, or anything you want me to talk about, just let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I'll do it. So, the YouTube burnout is when it starts to feel like a chore, but there's more to it. So not only did the YouTube thing start to feel like a chore, but I wasn't really getting any motivation to actually make more content, because as you can see from my videos, I'm not really getting that many views, not really getting that many comments, and there's not that interaction thing, which I just said I love to interact with you guys, but if I'm not getting the views, and I'm not getting the comments, I don't really care about the views and payments. You see, I never really monetize any one of my videos, so I'm not really getting paid for it. So I don't really care about the money and monetization, I just want to interact with you guys and have some fun around here. But if there's nobody watching and nobody commenting, I can't really interact, so it's not really that fun, which is why, well, I kind of slowed down. It's not really that fun, which goes into the YouTube going downhill category, because YouTube's not going to promote a small channel like me, which means it's going to be very, very difficult for me to build such an audience to interact with. Makes sense, right? So just to recap, because I know this might be a little confusing for some of you guys, YouTube is playing favorites with the big Hollywood actors who have a YouTube channel. And the reason for that is because sponsors like Coca-Cola would prefer to go to The Rock to advertise their product, because, I mean, think of it, The Rock is an actor, The Rock is a big guy, The Rock has a YouTube channel. He would make Coca-Cola much more money if Coke went to him than if Coke went to somebody like Markiplier or somebody like me. So because of that, YouTube is always trying to promote the big guys like The Rock, because it's more money for YouTube and more money for Coca-Cola, so they're playing favorites among the big Hollywood actors like The Rock. And then people who were big before, like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, don't get me wrong, they're still big, but they're just not as big as they should be, because, as I said, Coke would much rather sponsor The Rock than Jacksepticeye. Therefore, people who were big on YouTube, like Jacksepticeye and so on, they're opening Patreons because YouTube kinda stopped paying them, so they have to get their money from somewhere else, which is Patreon. And for smaller YouTubers like me, like very tiny YouTubers, we don't really have a chance because YouTube isn't going to push forward our content because they got people like The Rock out there, and if they don't have The Rock up there, they have previous big guys like Jacksepticeye who they can promote instead. So people like me, we kinda don't have a chance. And, well, because of that, we don't really have a chance to actually grow an audience, and what I would love to do on YouTube is to interact with my audience, but because my audience is very small, and it's probably not going to get any bigger anytime soon, because of what I just said, it's kind of giving me a whole burnout vibe, and I kind of don't really feel like making videos, at least not all the time, because, well, as everything I just said. So, yeah, that's basically the whole thing in a nutshell. Now, I'm not going to stop making YouTube videos. I will continue making content, but they will not be produced as frequently as they were back in the day. I would say at least one video a week. I can make more, maybe like 2, 3, 4, hell I could even do 10, but I'm just saying at least, minimal, is one video a week at a random day, at a random time. And this whole YouTube burnout thing, it really sucks for us smaller YouTubers because, you know, back in the day, people would rely on shoutouts to get big. That's actually how Jacksepticeye became very popular. It was PewDiePie who gave Jack a shoutout, and then from there his channel just exploded. But these days, people don't really rely much on shoutouts, they don't really care much for them. So even if somebody like Markiplier were to give me a shoutout, yeah, I would kind of get quite a few subs from that, I would gain a big audience, but it's not going to have the same impact as it had back in the day. And even another thing that YouTubers back in the day used to rely on was just like that random aspect. That's actually how Markiplier got very big. It's just when you finish watching a video, YouTube promotes, you know, random content. And it just so happened to be with Markiplier way back at the time. He wound up exploding because one of the random videos that was suggested by YouTube was one of his Amnesia Let's Plays, and that wound up exploding. And because of that, well, as time went on, Markiplier exploded. And now what YouTube is doing is with the whole recommendation thing, they either recommend people you already subscribe to, which means you're not going to find anybody new, or they recommend the actors and actresses because, as I said before, it's more income for YouTube and so on. So when it actually comes down to YouTube recommending smaller channels, that's kind of out of the question. You're going to have to be on that weird side of YouTube. You know, we all know that weird side of YouTube. But, I mean, think of it. The chances of everybody going to that weird side of YouTube is very slim. Much slimmer than it used to be. So, yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of the smaller channels were suffering because of this, and our chances of just, you know, becoming popular, not for the money, just for the audience, our chances of actually gaining a wide, big audience is just very slim. So that's basically about it. If you guys have any ideas for videos, or you want me to hear my thoughts on something, or want me to talk about anything, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm always reading the comments. Either if I don't reply to you, it's because I just don't really know what to say, so I just like your comment. But if you have anything for future suggested videos, let me know in the comment section below. I always read the comments because I don't really get that many comments. I actually read every single one of them. So if you like this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me up on Twitter at DavontosMan. And as always, I'll see all of you in the next video. Have a nice day.